Okay, let's continue with Witch on the Holy Night. Dun, dun, dun. I
あのね、
remember.
こっちじゃ
Yeah.
窓から人は出入りしないの。さっき言っとくべきだった。
Anyway, we have that crazy boy, and oh, I remember now. Like he was trying to jump like through like the window or something like that. There.
知ってるよ。時間がないんで慌ててたんだ。
Of course, you too, buddy.
ありがとう。これからは気をつける。
The funny thing is, like, he looks so peaceful when he's looking like the idea is crazy. Like, I'm gonna jump right, right now, like out of the window. Like, I don't know how many floors, but I will do it. But he's saying like, yeah, I'll do it. Like that kind of way. It's kind of funny. He pulled his leg back inside and closed the window. Look at his face. Look at his face. Like, happy day, happy day. His school uniform was soaking wet from the rain.
いいけど、私は別に。あなたがどこから外に出ようが関係ないもの。ただ、できれば私の前ではやらないでほしいだけよ。それより、あなた、本当に明日から学校に来るの？
来るよ。不安だけど案内してもらったし。
Mm. The boy. Her bid her farewell before running without the hallway. Running. Oh my god, that boy is so different. She hoped he would walk down the stairs and leave through the school entrance like a normal person would do. But no.
大丈夫なのか？あんなんで。
Poor Oko. Look at her expression. Wait, that's not a good expression. It's like a mean expression. The image of him disappearing into the distance popped into her head in the speed of her ear. She had no intention of spending any more time with him, and yet she felt strangely anxious. I know why, Algo. I know why. She couldn't tell if the feeling was fueled by concern or irritation. Mostly concern. Like under that rock hard shell, there is you peel it, there is a sweet chill alcohol. Why has she even gotten angry with this insignificant transfer student in the first place? Because you're a girl. And strange day with a strange transfer student resulting in strange emotions. Her head tilted as she reflected on what should have been a more enjoyable day, the irritating experience she just had.
ま、いっか。どうせこれっきりなんだし。
Oh my god, if you knew, if you knew. The sound of the rain echoed quietly all around her. The grey sky seemed frozen in time. It was impossible to discern whether it was morning or evening. Mr. Yamatsuro and Aoku were likely the ones left at school. The unlit classroom looked overly gloomy and ominous as Aoku stood eating alone. She pulled up her left sleeve. Her dainty and remarkable watch showed that it was almost 1 o'clock.
時間、合ってる。
She looked out of the window at the grounds below. She saw a boy in uniform running through the rain without an umbrella. Okay. A sight she might have seen before, but for whatever reason affected her far more than she wished. Oh, oh, what's going on? Explain it to me, Aoko. I deserve an explanation. Aoko didn't stood by the faculty room before heading home. While Mr. Chemister's office to ride home was standing, she decided it would ultimately be far more satisfying to ruin his day just as he had hers. She walked as quietly as she could toward the entrance and opened her bright red umbrella. Just a second. A second, please. A second. Oh my god. Nah, okay. Sorry for the waiting. As she had predicted that morning, the rain was waning in the afternoon. At this rate, it would probably cease completely in an hour or so. Good, that's good to know. The distant sunshine would likely have reached her by the time she arrived home. That's so nice.
ま、それも悪くないか。
She shrugged her shoulders in resignation. She neither liked nor disliked rain. She found herself enjoying her walk home with her round umbrella in hand. Yeah, actually a very good view. Walk, people, walk! The teachers at Misaki High School weren't fond of bright colors, so Goose Rebel was an unusual sight. Look at that Sama, bros! A perfect red umbrella! A ghost story about how the umbrella was once pure white had been making the rounds, but it featured a Aoko instead of a ghost. It was it was with that umbrella that she made her way toward Misaki Station. It was with that umbrella that she made her way toward. Okay. Dun dun dun. Dun. Okay. Like not many people walking. And see people walking here. Misaka Private High School took its namesake from the towns it was in. What will me? What does Misaki mean? I don't know. The area was once sprawl of farmland and moonlight, but rapid growth over the last years had led to unprecedented modernization. There were some who fought to preserve Misaki's natural treasures.
残すことには賛成ですが、それでは残すだけになってしまうでしょ
Who is this? No idea. With those words, the mayor snuffed up the voice of the minority and ushered in a long-term plan for new urban development. More than enough funds. More than enough funds for the urban development were collected. And the unassuming town of Misaki became the largest municipality of Misaki City in merely 10 years. Even though it lacked the modernity of the neighboring Gashiroi or the elegance of Misaki Hills, Misaki,
それも当然よね。
Misaki,
どういじくっても、もともとが山中の宿場町だし、
wait,
山ごと切り崩すっていうのは
I
別
was
だけ
reading
ど。
too fast. Isn't Misaki related to Sugihime? Or no? Let me see. Or maybe I'm confusing teams, my wrist. I just read too fast because they were just explaining places. I'm like, okay, they're explaining places. And they were like, wait. This place sounds too familiar, but I don't know if that's how. Yes, and I'm kind of lazy to. What, to be honest, I don't know how to go back. How should I go? How to ruin?
それも当然よね。どういじくっても、もともとが山中の宿場町だし。
Hmm. More than enough funds for the government were collected. Okay. And then um, so I don't get it. They're living in this Misaki? Can someone explain me this? Kinda confused. Or maybe after the video I will try to look that up. Wait, in this city is Misaki? No come. No
それも当
understand.
然よね。どういじくっても、もともとが山中の宿場町だし。山ごと切り崩すって言うんなら別だけど。
Let's see it quickly. So Misaki town or it must be really big. I don't think this is where the Tsukihime plot happened. So it might be a really big city or I don't know. But how? I mean from that all Tsukihime because the if I'm not wrong in the remake is Soja. So yeah. City so it's different. Different. Okay. So this is more with the old Tsukihime staff. Okay, well, here urbanization have been contained to the lowlands around the station, with most of the hills and mountains still standing as they did 10 years prior. The excess. Sorry, it's kind of funny words. The excitation of funds succeed in protecting the Misaki or the citizens could not. It became a truly odd suburban town, welcoming an increasingly urban population with its vestiges of old country charm. Misaki High School was a private school established long before the town's current state. Misaki High School. The original campus, wow, was really Misaki. A lot of I just realized just like a couple of moments ago that word. The really campus few 50 years ago was located high up in the mountains, making its current location its second incarnation. What? The path to the old grounds was not only steep and remote, it had become an overgrown game trail with the passage of time. For these reasons, among others, Misaki had been shuttered until almost 20 years ago, when it received a donation from a department store change that allowed for the construction of a new campus in the city. And thus, Misaki High School reopened its door, the old Woodland campus forgotten. Okay. In fact, most of the students attending Misaki High School were not from Misaki at all. Understandable. The hereditary people of this country don't prefer prefectural schools to private ones. What is a prefectural? I don't know. Truth be told, Aoko herself was one of them. In prefectural? All she had wanted after junior high was to move to Tokyo, where she hoped to spend her days touring her favorite bands on her way. Oh, favorite bands. Oh, good God, what kind of music does she listen? I don't know, baby. It's God. Okay. A public anniversary on her way to the university. But her hopes were dashed with her sister's departure. Oh, we're talking about Toko. Right? Her sister's departure. So here she was, walking along in town with only a red umbrella to keep her company on what should have been a day off.
思
No,
い返してみると
you are not alone.
私の人生って
You are with
なんか
yourself.
災難続きっぽい。
Looking back on it now, it's like my whole day has been. Oh, yeah. Her frustration evaporated into the cold December air. Damn, boy.
でもま、
Look at that view.
退屈だけはしないわけだし。
Because you find a new boyfriend. With those words, her mood brightened a bit as she left in the school in her way. The busier, the busier part of town met her at the bottom of the gentle sloping road. What's going on? Mistake train station was around here. Was looking up prior to an abandoned factory. It had been renovated into a multi-purpose structure with a huge department stores on its east and west sides. When the department stores opened, Aoko and her friends have been impressed with their modern film. Aoko and her friends. By the time the stores too became dead. She had no shopping to do today, so she passed them by. What she really wanted to do was a rest at a cafe, but she thought that the urge, knowing her roommate would never let her hear the innovative predator with her money. But she thought the urge. Okay, why did she thought the urge? Knowing her roommate would never let her hear the innovative. Her money. What's going on? What's going on? Oh my god, okay, this will be loud if to turn down the volume a little bit. This just using headphones and it was kind of loud. Okay, let's see. She looked back and blinked. For just a moment, she could have sworn she had seen someone suspicious in a red dress out of the corner of her eye. It must have been her imagination. The sixth sense chill she was experiencing down her spine was a familiar one at this point. She continued her walk home, brushing off the event as if it had never happened. In time the chill faded, and all that was left was the sound of the town.
は
She sighed heavily. Had she imagined? Even if it had been only her head, she was far from comfortable with the feeling that still lingered.
夏場の方ってもう少しこう。
Even mosquitoes have the grace to buzz off eventually. She grumbled under her breath.
波乱万丈、商売繁盛、諸行無常と。そうそう、忙しさに愚痴を言っても始まらないわ。
Unfortunately, summer and Bugs go hand in hand. She could see how Bugs could be drawn to all the sweet fruit. dun, dun. Wait a sec. Sorry. It's the mono. I don't know why. Mm. Wait. Oh my god. But wait. Sorry. Mm, this is kind of weird. Okay. Sauko cooking time? And after a few couple of, after maybe videos, I will try to update the model. No, my first time doing this stuff. Well, coming back to the witch on the early night. Rank with reason kid the kitchen was closed for the time being. Okay, so that was this then. The lunch rush had come and gone. But one's last battle remained at dinner time. Only after the evening clouds did the kitchen crew remove their white armor clothing, okay? In the midst of the war sun was alone.
これ着るんですか？
Oh, we are the boy! Booyah. Do I have to wear this? Of course you do, my friend. His voice was uneasy, betraying how new he was.
気持ちはわかる。俺もどうかと思うけど、店長の言うことだから、もう笑顔で乗り越えてくれ。これも商店街の明日のためなんだとよ。本気で申し訳ないんだが、雨も止んだし、なんとか行ってきてくれないか？無事帰ってきたら晩飯おごってやっから。
I think that's a new, nice work you made. Bright orange co-worker, yeah, oh, clasped his hands together as if to beg for forgiveness as he sounded him with this unreasonable task. Oh, it's raining outside, right? And he doesn't have an umbrella. I understand now. No, it's not raining. So what's that unreasonable? Because they aren't supposed to go outside. But 10 years ago, Misaki City was a town of foreign woodland. But everything had changed. The front of the station was now lined with tall, multi-story buildings, and the residential areas were similarly full of apartment complexes. The once rustic area around the station had now become a thing of the past. Shiro Naisuke was the only place in the city that still contained vestiges of the old town, a pocket of the past designed urban jungle. The road extended up conspicuously high, to an old residential district far from the hustle and bustle of the train station. Long ago, it had been considered unwise to build on high ground, so nobody lived above a certain elevation. Understandable. Shiro Inusuka, sitting as it did atop a hill in the middle of town, was no exception to that conversation and had no residence to speak of. The asphalt continued for some time, eventually giving way to a mountain road that was swallowed into the cover of trees. A long vending machine stood to the mark of the boundary between town and beyond. Even the children knew that there was nothing beyond the new playground in development that saw and trailed them. Well, that was not entirely true. There was nothing besides the haunted house. Haunted house. Now we're back with Aoko. Aoko Saki travels the long slope, Below her, she could see the whole of Misaki. The symmetrical town looked like a miniature set from this height. It would look like a painting if there had been a sea next to it, but unfortunately Misaki City was very much landlocked. Well, it was overcast at the moment. The scene was quite breathtaking on clear evenings. The view was the one thing that made the arduous climb worthwhile, and today she had been denied even that.
ああ、雨の日は自転車も使えないし、1日に2回ぐらいバスでも通ってくれないもんかな、ほんと。
Alco had been using the road to get to school for almost 2 years now, but the journey had never gotten easier.
あれ、鍵閉まったまま？
Oh my
ア
god.
リス、まだ帰ってきてないんだ。
But oh my god, you don't have a key, Alco. Come on, Alco. Disappointment, Alco. Disappointment. I'm disappointed. Disappointed. Huh? You know what I mean, Alco. With a weary shrug, she put her hand on the rusty iron fence and then she gonna break it, right? No, she's not? So wait, is love how do you open it? Is Harage? Quietly, he began soon open herself to work on her home. Oh my god. There sits atop the hill a haunted house. Don't tell me it's the uncle's house. That's how the story might share around town used to begin. But fresh rumors about the house had sprung to light almost as fast as okay. Despite being dilapidated and abandoned for many years, lights can be seen inside the house at night. An angry mutter of crows often guards atop the hill before mysteriously vanishing. Children get lost in the fog, never to be seen again. Late at night, shrieking sound can be heard all day to town. This particular piece of slander was the one Olga wished to discredit the most. The final rumor was an eye-catching luxury car that sometimes makes way up down the hill. The rumors spread and grew by the day, and while they grew, the house that everyone thought had rotted away was restored over the recent years. Deep in wood on top of a hill, no one dared to approach. Seems reasonable. I wouldn't go to the top of a hill to visit a mansion. Like a ruin shrouded from view even on the brightest of day. Stood a relic out of time, a building from a fairy tale. The house was the Kuonji mansion. Alice Kuonji. So is Alice a millionaire, billionaire? Why there are many billionaires? That's who. I wouldn't say billionaires, but rich people. Like, if I'm not wrong, Ilya is kind of rich. I'm not exactly sure, but she had maids and she had a castle. I wouldn't be surprised she had gold. Ahika also technically rich, I guess. A mansion, servants, like, and a lot of money from the clans. Now Kuonji with a mansion. Oh my god. Everyone in town knew about the witch house on the hill. It was an unabashedly haunted house where Aoko Saki resided for reasons known only to her. Wait, what? You're not gonna tell me? Because it's a spoiler, right? Needless to say, it was not really haunted. Of course not. It's Aoko there. What are you talking about? The Kwonji family home was a grand Western-style mansion with a long story. Okay, stretching all the way back to England. So, Alice is not from Russia? Oh my god, my friend thought she was Russian. He would be disappointed. It was too small to be a dormitory, yet too big to be called a house. Just the main building contained as many as three normal houses worth of rooms and was surrounded by a large all-encompassing courtyard. The perimeter of the ground was surrounded by a high iron fence covered in thorny vines. There was also an annex to the main building. Given such extravagance, it was no wonder that it inspired rumors. To a town resident, the mere existence of such a lavish and out-of-place mansion of top of the hill was a cause for suspicion. Rumors, lies, and slander were the prices to be paid for fame. With only two lodgers, it was hard to disagree with the presumption the vampire must live in there. Is that Tsukihime reference? Please don't play with me.
ま、私はともかく、アリスはそういうのやりかねないし。
Well, I know no one but Alice. Is Alice a vampire? Of course not. Even I know Alice not a vampire. Else in LVO, some of the arts will be related to vampire. She put her hand on the front door. It was a grand double door that would have paired with the brass lock, and yet it was secure with little more than a simple keyhole. Pushing it open with one hand, she entered the supposedly haunted house. And by the way, if vampires were not enough, if vampires were not if vampires were not enough to scare you, ghosts were known to appear on certain nights. Is that a Kara no Kyokai reference? Where do you hit? They're from the beginning, right? If that piano thing refers to the house, eh? So a house, the house thing. I like the piano. Much like the weather outside, the fire was overcast with shade of rain. Perhaps by deliberate design, the architect had chosen not to include any lights in the entrance area. The ceiling was 2 floors high. The only lights in the room came from the skylight. It was particularly gloomy on rainy days. On moonless night, it was like the world itself ceased to be. Aoko decided that travel around today would be a good place to rest, but knowing that she would not be able to relax until she changed clothes, she started up the stairs. The stairs curled up the wall to the second floor hall. There was a third floor attic, as well accessible from the far end of the hall. She had never set foot in the 2 years she had lived here though, because you will find something that you will not light up. The Guangzhou mansion was more or less divided into two wings, east and west. Ako had given the entire east wing. Damn, boy! But 2 rooms were more than enough as far as she was concerned. She had not decided to open a door that would trap you in a storybook world or lead to an attic that had only been used for storage these last 5 years. Alco's room was at the end of the east wing's long corridor. She had elected for a smaller room for no other reason than she thought it would be easier to clean. Alco, disappointed. Alco, I'm disappointed. It was furnished with a large bed, her beloved mahogany desk, a wardrobe and chest for her clothes and two nightshade bookcases. That was the extent of what she brought from home. Her entire life existing just reduced to this. I don't see that bad. She's a bird and it's thrown down for her own purpose.
そうだ。アリスにもらった見張りと壊れてないかチェックしないと。
She needs to see the prey she had been working all night, have more fruit. Well, I know. Can fruit grow in a day? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it's possible. Don't be too excited. The study next door served as a proof of the life she had been living for the last year and how different that life was from the one she had lived before. I'm getting used to this piano thing. I will listen to this maybe one per day, I guess, or two per day. I don't know. It's kind of cool. Oh my god, like, okay. It was a room for the person she would eventually become. A place of solitude, the only she could enter, or so she thought, until me
うわ、
was able to see
壊れてるどころか
through that gate.
跡形もなく消え去ってる。やっぱ自己流アレンジはまだ早かったか。いいわよ。笑いなさいよ、コマドリ。
Oh my god, I was talking along. I know I was talking with a bird. Or no. The nosy neighbor that had thrown upon her sister flew away. Well, no exception, the talented could not lack for effort and was not afraid to fail. One could have almost mistaken her approach for optimism. Wait, that was quick. No way. You can't do this to me, bro. No, bro. Wait, it's rounder than I thought. Wait. Okay. Going back, look at this round mangoes. Well. Are those mangoes? Those long fingers are for guitar. She changed out of her uniform and entered the first floor. Down the stairs, she opened the door to the east winds into the corridor, as dark as a cellar. The absence of windows meant it was pitch black without the lights on, so she flicked the switch and entered a nearby doorway. It's not that bad. If you have some beers and a good friend and you guys talk stupid stuff, I don't think that this is needed, or at least that's what I think. Well, I wouldn't say it's not needed like all the time because you need electricity. But if it is gone for an hour, it's not that bad. Like, that's what I'm saying. For an hour or for a couple of hours. Yeah, like she says here, live without electricity, that will really suck. It had been her idea to update the brown room. The walls were decorated with transparents. There's a TV, a fuckback TV, and around the room were large, majestic sofas and a luxurious Persian rug. It was over 30-inch television that seemed completely out of the place. It does, right? It's still looking over the other other furniture like an emperor with no clothes. The mansion's owner would have rather without it, but to a common look, it was an essential commodity because is it yours technically, right? I don't know. They had fought over expressing at first, eventually came to agreement. Now mutually enjoy this modern comfort, yeah, because look at this. Look at this place where you can play your Nintendo.
なんだ人のことは言えない
I want
か
to be the man.
うちも案外時代錯誤な家だった
Yes, yes, look at those. I mean, focus. Now, in someone pleasant mood, she decided to brew some tea. Whatever you get. She boiled some water in the kitchen, prepared to tip up, and made herself some black tea. Why? I don't know. Some bread, I guess, right? Or just by itself. With sugar or no sugar?
あーっと
With a flop, she sunk into the sofa. Oh, good life, Afro. You have a good life. She took a sip of her tea and on her. Are you gonna sing, Naruto? Well, if you can sing, dude. I mean, if you sing, in the game, pretty cool. 10 of 10. S plus. And picture. Was neither ready. What she was doing? She was lazing around in the sofa. All day. Look with the ticket, look at that. She took a search as she pondered how to spend her afternoon. The sofa almost seemed to be inviting her, and she sunk even farther into its comforting embrace. It's golly gorgeous! I can see it! Even though I don't see her face, I can see it right here. Well, those are no mangoes. I guess they are barely tangerines. I don't know. Look at that pen. I think I heard. Wait. Yeah. I heard that her teen song before. Yeah. I heard. I remember. Sorry, I remember one of the reasons that about this game because like I was like should I buy it or not? Then I listened her her Alice Guanji theme, the OST, and damn girl, I like this melancholy, happy. Well, I wouldn't say exactly too happy, but melancholic, kind of sad, going like a peaceful way. But like, damn, yeah, I like this OST. And that's one of the reasons like OST God. So that's why I have this game. And Alice Sponge is here, boys. Damn, a round of applause. Okay. There was no dream or delusion. My bad. At some point, a girl had sat down across from her. Of course, it's Alice Sponge, boys. Not the least bit surprised, she reached for her teacup. Oh my god, I don't know why I like this OST, but I like it so much. But the team with him had gone completely cold. Did I do so? Of course you did, girl! Just a question to the girl on the other side of the table. The girl answered without lifting her gaze. Shit, I'm disappointed of you, girl. I can take a screenshots, right? No, I cannot take. Where's my screenshots? Where's my screenshot? That's not fair. I want to take. Does anyone know how to take screenshots on Steam? Because I want to take a screenshot, but I can't. One time she could have been mistaken for a beautiful doll. The beautiful doll is too default. Sure. He fall off shore without water. More than that, the girl sitting on the upper sofa was reading an old book. Reading books? Cool. Plus points. She had delicate limbs and pale white skin. Delicate limbs. Oh god. Not a hint of humanity emanated from her melancholic era. Don't tell me she's like she has a sad background story. No? Or has she just like that? Oh no? I don't know. It will be interesting. She had darker hair. She had darker hair than Naoko. Don't tell me. If you didn't tell me, I would never do that. In her eyes, the eyes were focused on the page in front of her. Her clothes resembled that of a nun, but were actually her school uniform. In Naoko's humble opinion, the gloominess with her. Of course. She broke something light out of painting. There was something unreal about her as she were frozen in time. The white of her gently arched neck was so lovely that even Naoko found herself enchanted by it. You're not the only one, girl. The girl was one of the hunters' half-two residents. What the hell were you talking about? Her name was Alice Kimonji. She was the same age as Naoko.
私どれくらい寝てた？
Disappointed Naoko. Disappointed!
1時間と少し。ここで眠ると風邪ひくわよ。
Did she just sleep an hour? Wait, what? Based on the morning side of the window, I thought it happened more like 3 hours or so. At least now, place bookmark, search bookmark. I don't really want to risk something now. At least an hour, you could call you keep sleeping here. Alice answered indifferently. Not that it bothered her, who was now used to it. She looked at the clock on the wall and saw that it was already 7. She couldn't sleep for 2 hours. I knew it! Yeah, the day already 7. 7 p.m. So when she came, when she arrived home, it was 5 p.m. Like 4 or 5 p.m. Wow, she was doing guiding the guy from morning to maybe to okay, I'm not gonna calculate the hang around one so you wanna separate the shit out of stuff around like shit.
起こしてくれてもよかったのに。せっかくの紅茶が冷めちゃったじゃない。私が来た時はもう冷めてたわ。でしょうね。行ってみただけよ。こうなるとフォートナム&メイソンも何もないわね。おかえりアリス。玉の贅沢もあんた抜きじゃ閉まらないってことかしら。
The universe seems determined to keep me from even the caution of mercy.
今日は薬日か天中殺か。ちょっと早いけどお参りってのも十分ありかもね。
Aka shrugged her shoulders and were signing her to her fate.
それで何があったの？
After 2 years together, they knew each other quite well. Naoko had one way of asking questions, and Alice had another. Alice asked without raising her head, and Naoko gave her the details.
まず謝らなくちゃいけない。
What the hell is that? I don't think that's correct, right? So, what is that?
昨日徹夜で完成させた例のあれ、意味がなくなっちゃったのよ。ちょっと目を離した隙に沸騰しすぎて壊れちゃったみたい。
You boil over? Are you guys doing some type of alchemy or
そう
something?
ならないよう循環のコードを23本外したり縫合したりしたんだけど
I would try to laugh it off as if I was someone else's problem.
どういうこと？今朝休養が入って学校に呼び出し受けたの。そこで転入生の世話を押し付けられて一日が無残にも消費されちゃって帰ってきたら跡形もなく消えてました。怒る？アリス。
Why was she? I don't understand.
別に青子の器物破損にいちいち怒っていたら一生分の口論をすることになるでしょう。代用品はあるからまた一から始めればいいわ。それより怒ってるのはあなたの方じゃないの？
Alice was very much on point today. It was true that despite our grandparents' uncle was sitting with frustration. That aside,
この転入生っていうのがひどくずれててね。すごい山奥で暮らしてたらしくて、こっちの常識が通じないんだから。三問以下って言葉があるけど、あれって本当のことなのね、アリス。
Alice raised her head in response to hearing her name. But kept going on before she could get a word in edgewise. Aoko, after all, expected no sympathy in the first place.
初対面から尺に触るやつだったけど、教室を案内した時なんか失神しそうになったわ。そいつ、教室で教師と1対1で授業を受けるもんだと思ってたらしいの。それはそれでまだ流せる。許容範囲よ、あの程度の冗談は。で、私が簡潔かつ丁寧に教室の何たるかを教えた後で、そいつなんて言ったと思う？
You're thinking about Hinata, no.
それで青崎、他の教室は何に使うんだ？
Wait. No. Sorry, I just realized that. That the kid. For some reason, the video stopped. I need to stop recording.